Hello, I'm Nick Boy and welcome to Pocket. Today we'll be talking about Amazon and their hefty investment in struggling studio Crytek. And I've got some help today as well. So joining me is executive producer of Good Game, Janet Carr, and Kotaku Australia's editor-in-chief, Mark Serrels. So Mark, I'll start with you. What's happening with Crytek? What's the deal?
Crytek was in a bit of a bad way, and I think at one point, maybe a month or so ago, the boss of Crytek had sort of alluded to this deal. He had said something along the lines of, "We're saved, everything's going to be okay." You know, he'd said something, and I think he mentioned something like, we'll be able to give you more details in the near future, but Crytek is okay, it's going to be okay. And I think
this is a really panicked discussion to put out online.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of a weird thing for him to say, but it was quite bad. There was a lot of rumours and sources coming out to say to Kotaku that people weren't getting paid, people weren't getting their money. There was real serious like Crytek was in real danger.
And do you know what it was specifically? Is it people not using the engine, games flopping?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, video games are an expensive business. When you hire so many people and you take years to make these games, and if they don't sell, I mean, all video games, all AAA development is just this massive dice roll. Yeah. And if you don't make massive success of certain games, I mean, you're going to be in trouble. And
particularly sinking a huge amount of money into an engine is just like that's so much work and so much development, and if it doesn't get picked up in the same sort,
has it really?
Yeah, like Crytek's not on the same scale as like Unreal.
No, that's right, and I think they were hoping that it would be.
Yeah.
But what's it evolved? And
Evolve. I think
their own games.
Yeah, their own games. And there was one other thing like a Far Cry or something like that was using it, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a competitive sort of space, and it's constantly evolving. You look at where Unreal's going and all these other engines like Unity. I mean, they're all going free, and then Valve's jumping in now and they're making theirs free. And where do you fit in that? The model seems to be changing, and how they sell these engines and who uses them.
Do you think, when they went for that sort of high-end graphics, that maybe, I mean, a lot of us didn't have computers to be able to run their games at that level. Do you think that may have harmed them?
That was like the big defining feature about Crytek was like, you cannot run this. Like Crysis games were just like, it looks really pretty, but you can't do it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we still to this day say, can it run Crysis?
Yeah.
That's the thing. You say
it's still the benchmark.
Can it run it on the super duper settings? But another thing that people are saying about the Cry engine and stuff is that it's difficult to use. It's not one of those engines where like Unity that's easy to use, or even Unreal, it's just kind of quite accessible now. A lot of people have a lot of problems running, using that engine. It's a difficult one to use.
Amazon's walking in and they're dumping like $50-70 million.
Yes,
into
we're not
Crytek.
sure. It's somewhere around that. A lot.
Yeah, like they've sunk a huge amount of money into that. What's their plan?
Yeah, I mean,
like you're picking up an engine that doesn't get used that much.
But it's so interesting, their plan, isn't it? Because they picked up Twitch too.
Well, that's the thing, and like that was for like $1 billion.
And they haven't done.
They haven't done anything with Twitch. They haven't done anything with Twitch, which was, as someone who loves Twitch, was really disappointing to me.
Do you think? I'm actually quite relieved because I think it's going well. Like if you just walked in and you changed it, I think it's such a sort of, we're still at the very early stages of seeing how far Twitch will go and how much people will love it. Leave it alone. Let it evolve. I hope they're being wise, but
here's the thing: Twitch hasn't evolved. Like Twitch, there's so much about it that needs to be fixed, which money could really help. Like the chat messaging feature in Twitch is just awful. Like that implementation, the fact that you can't archive things for longer than like 60 days. Like it doesn't have the sort of longevity of something like YouTube. And so it needs to take a lot of the YouTube-ness and put it into Twitch to make it a place that is like not just focused around it has to be happening right now and for you to watch it.
Yeah. Oh, no, I agree with you completely. But I also think they are quite wise because it is a different model to YouTube. Like, yes, bring some of those YouTube features in, but it is I'm quite glad that they're just, at the moment, it seems to be a bit of a holding pattern.
Well, I feel like they must be holding it for a reason then. Because they've got, doing that, they've made Amazon Game Studios. Yeah. They've brought in other developers as well. They've got, Kim Swift, who did Portal. They've got, Halo writers. They've got Clint Hocking from Far Cry 2. Amazon have brought these guys in to work on unannounced things. I feel like they're prepping for something quite big. Yeah.
I agree.
All right, I'm going to play devil's advocate.
All right.
The reason being that Amazon has so much money, and from the very beginning, the Amazon way of doing business has been to reinvest every single cent they make and to expand in the company.
Yeah.
They don't even really make a profit. Amazon does not make a profit because it just spends so much money on investment. So
Buying drones.
Yeah, buying drones. Like, you think of the crazy things. That's just such a good example.
Yeah.
Because Amazon just wastes their money
Yeah.
on crazy stuff. Because they're just making bets on all these different areas just because the whole model of Amazon is just growth. So my feeling is they're spending money because that's what they do.
They're just acquiring.
They're just doing what Amazon does, just constantly.
I don't
trying
know.
everything.
You don't think it's, you've got to be in it to win it? If they're there, they're trying to work out, they know that the gaming space is big and it's getting bigger and it's only going to get bigger. Once a gamer, always a gamer. And if you've got a foot in the door, that's a much better place than just letting people just do it all around you.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. They're going to do something, but I don't think there's this master plan, like, oh, we're going to do this.
Some giant.
I just think they have money and they're thinking, oh, this game thing sounds cool. Let's do that. I mean, certainly they have plans for Crytek, and CryEngine. They haven't bought that for no reason. Their investment in games, I think, is a bit more scattershot and a bit more just like, let's see what happens. Particularly with Twitch, because Twitch is just, like you said, it's just a thing that can tick on by itself. And sure, they'll make tweaks here and there, and they'll YouTube it a bit more, just like YouTube will Twitch itself.
Well, YouTube have announced that at E3 they're announcing a big new revamp for their streaming. Like, they're pretty much moving that towards the sort of Twitch model, which I feel like is actually kind of a really big threat for Twitch, because Google obviously just have the money to pour into that. The audience, like, it all depends on where the audience, and the audience follow the creators, so where they are. But Amazon and Google have somehow invaded the video game space and are going to be going head to head like they do everywhere else. Like, it's kind of that's crazy.
But our industry we have had these things sort of come that have changed everything. There was nothing really that did the Twitch thing until Twitch did it.
Totally, yeah.
And the same with Steam.
Yeah.
And you think about, how all-encompassing Steam is now in the PC place especially. And you think, well, that it could be there. We just, they could build something that could be that fundamentally different that will change the way we behave as gamers.
Not Twitch, like something new.
Something new. I mean, all of these things, all of these building blocks, to me, feel like there could be something quite exciting coming. That, my brain is not clever enough to perceive what that might be. But maybe this time next year we'll be going, oh wow, can't imagine a world without Amazon gaming.
We'll be like, get this video off the internet, like, where we were all like, it's fine.
I remember the day Steam launched, and sort of, wow, what a sort of, this is a bit weird, but now look, like,
Well, what are the options there? Like, from what I can think, they're either announcing an expansion to, like, the game studio, so they're going to start developing things. And if that's the case, then that's great. Like, it all just depends on the game. Like, it doesn't really matter who's making it. If the game's good, then it'll work. A new platform, like a new console, like they've got the Fire TV, like, which apparently plays games, which, like, they
plays Flappy Bird.
They got, like, an exclusive to the Flappy Bird sequel.
We've all played that. Have we not all played that?
And, like, which is just it's a terrible product. And then and all the third thing is, like, a delivery platform like Steam.
Yeah.
But, like, coming in, like, I feel like they've got Twitch coming into, like, the delivery platform. I don't want something other than Steam. I hate when things are, like, fragmented.
You say that now, but you would have said that with MySpace, right? Did you?
Yeah, I don't need another Facebook.
That's true. That is true. But I have so many games I've bought on Steam that I haven't played. I need to get through those first.
Guilty.
I think there's just, you're right. You got to play in the space that works for you. Like EA does Origin, I'm sure Origin does well, but Steam is Steam.
Yeah.
Facebook is Facebook. I feel like we do live in a world where these parameters are already established, and it would be unwise for Amazon to try and create a Steam.
Yeah.
It would be unwise for Amazon to create this thing. What they'll do, though, to your point, is probably something new or more interesting. That would be the good thing to do.
Let's hope.
That's what you're hoping for.
Yeah.
What I think, if I had to place my bet, if I had to put my money on the table right now, I think it's more of an investment in their tablets and games on tablets, on Amazon Fire and the Kindles and stuff. I think it will be more to do with that strategy and what you mentioned before with the TV. I think that's where they're heading. They've recognised that they're not doing a great job in that area, so their response, I'm guessing, is let's invest more in the ground up and have our own exclusive stuff, have our own games on this thing, and they probably have big plans. You don't
with the best gaming.
Well, that's the thing though. You don't get a guy like Clint Hawken to join you unless you have an idea.
Unless you actually
and this
have
is a guy that wants to make games, video games. He doesn't want to. He left Valve because Valve wasn't making games. That was specifically why he left Valve. Well, according to his tweets and stuff.
And he could have gone anywhere, and so it's like
he could have gone back to Ubisoft.
It's telling that he's chosen them as they've chosen him.
So they are going to make games. They're going to make games for sure. It's just how are those games going to be released? What kind of games are we talking about? I think that's the thing. That's the question. There is this sense I'm getting that big, massive tech corporations like Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, they really, Apple to a lesser extent, really want to get involved in games, and their conception, their idea of what games are and what games can do is completely different from ours. And it's completely different from gamers in general. Like Facebook bought like Oculus not because wow, cool games, guys. They bought it because interactive entertainment, as we know it, is about to go in weird, different mainstream directions that we can't really comprehend yet, but these guys have plans for it. So my guess is that Amazon wants to compete in that space alongside Google and alongside Oculus, because these guys have massive investments in that space.
And it's almost a case of, you look at these companies, they kind of all need a finger in every pie just to keep up with each other.
Exactly.
Like you look at like Amazon launched Amazon Video, and there was already like Hulu and Netflix, and then they've put their sort of like instant streaming stuff, and they made investments into creating original content for that, and there's good stuff being made there, but it's not as ubiquitous as something like Netflix. Like Netflix is just, it's the Kleenex of streaming video. But they kind of had to enter that space just to stay relevant. So like if you put sort of a finger in every pie, then you don't really get left behind.
There's a real paranoia with these. There's a real paranoia with these bigger companies as well. Like I was speaking to someone from Zynga recently, and he was telling me that Zynga missed the boat on mobile gaming. Like they were so invested in what they did and the small little thing they did well, the small little thing, the massive thing they did well, Facebook games and social games, that they forgot about mobile and they thought mobile wasn't a big deal, and it was a blip on this horizon. And then 6 months later, it was this massive thing. And then their stock price goes from $14 to $2. It's too late. They're gone. Kaput, bye. There must be such a massive amount of paranoia when you're on top, like a company like Facebook, like a company like Amazon, where like we need to invest in this thing now, just in case. Oh my God! And like $50 or $60 million to Amazon is like, it's like when you're playing Monopoly and you're just about to win the game. And someone's got Old Kent Road. It's just like Old Kent Road, $2,000. You know what I mean? It's just like it was $60 2 seconds ago. Now it's who cares? I've got that's what this investment is to them. I think.
Yeah, I can see that, and I guess like this may be the opposite sort of opinion to everything else, but I like the idea that they have money to put into it, because I feel like at the moment like games are heading down this path, which I'm really enjoying, which is like. I feel like we're approaching the end of the AAA era of just being able to sink hundreds of millions of dollars into a game and get that money back. Because you look at Evolve is like a perfect example of like something that they take so long to develop. By the time you hop on the bandwagon, it's already over. We don't there was this year and a half where everyone was like, yeah, we love co-op. Everyone wants to do co-op, and then it's like Evolve comes out. It's like, no, we're not interested in co-op anymore. We just I don't want to be connected to the internet when I play my game. I just want to play it at home by myself. So we're reaching the end of that, which means we may be reaching the end of money being able to attract big talent as well. And so I feel like with Amazon, like with the people that they're getting on board, they are stockpiling great brains to sort of sit there and start coming up with ideas. Who knows? Maybe these guys aren't even working on games. Maybe they're working on like some sort of weird tech thing or like, you know, some real life portal gun. I'm saying they're coming out with drones and we never thought that would happen.
Pre-order?
Like,
Can I pre-order one?
Can you imagine if that's what the investment is?
I hope it's something weird. Like, I hope it's something weird. Nothing disappoints me more than when people do what I think they're going to do.
Yeah.
You know, like, when Nintendo came out with the Wii U, I was just like, what? That's not
Yeah,
fun.
exactly.
Whereas Nintendo normally go, here's this thing that you never thought, oh my god, what are you going to do now?
Here's this weird like fold out thing that has 3D that you don't need glasses for, and you're like, oh right, okay, that's totally different than like here's some weird motion control. Yeah, exactly.
Well, if Amazon are capable of drones to deliver your stuff, oh my god, I mean, I hope they do something similarly stupid for video games.
Yeah.
I think you're underestimating the drones there.
Maybe I'm underestimating the drones.
Changing it.
Never underestimate the drones. What's wrong with me, man?
All right, well, that seems like a good spot to leave it. Mark, Janet, thank you very much for joining me and talking about it. And that's it for today's episode of Pocket. Nick Boy out. So basically what we're saying is it's a future where we get killed by drones streamed live on Twitch.
Yes, exactly.
Bring it on.
Can't wait, man.